muted while the governor's talking, and then we'll take questions afterwards. Thank you.
Can you all hear all right?
They're
Okay, yeah. All right, there we are. Well, good afternoon. Thanks very much for being here on the phone and in the room here. We're in the inner sanctum, so to speak, our conference room in the governor's office. Yesterday, I held a press conference to discuss Wyoming's efforts related to COVID-19. And as I mentioned yesterday, this situation is changing quickly. Today, I would like to update you on this evolving situation in Wyoming. And I'm joined here by Dr. Allie Harris, the Wyoming state epidemiologist. In conjunction with the President's declaration today at 1:45 this afternoon, I declared a public health emergency related to COVID-19 in an effort to support Wyoming small businesses and protect Wyoming residents. This does not represent an escalation of concern. It represents being proactive and being on point. This measure allows us to quickly activate the Wyoming National Guard in the event that that would be necessary. And more importantly, it also provides our state health officer with additional flexibility to address community needs. President Trump has released emergency funding for small businesses. In order for Wyoming businesses to access these funds, we had to declare a state of emergency. We want to reassure Wyoming residents that we are committed to supporting our communities as well as slowing the spread of COVID-19 in Wyoming. Currently, Wyoming remains at one case of COVID-19. Yesterday, I mentioned a conservative approach to large gatherings in our state. Today, I would like to offer some additional clarification. As we all know, the elderly and individuals with compromised health conditions remain at the greatest risk of COVID-19, and my goal is to ensure that Wyoming minimizes that risk. It is critical to implement good hand hygiene. We've spoken about that over and over again, making sure that you wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Maybe you can sing happy birthday to yourself twice while you're washing your hands and making sure that the tips of your fingers are also covered. And when you turn off the faucet, see if you can do that with your elbow. It's also important that you cover your cough, sneezing into your elbow, and of course, staying home when you are ill. Additionally, social distancing is a critical part to slowing the spread of this disease. Today, I am recommending that all large group gatherings be rescheduled for the protection of our most vulnerable individuals in this state. This promotes social distancing and as precautions against and as a preventative measure. As I mentioned yesterday, please work with your local public health officers if you have any questions on how to proceed with an event. I realize that spring breaks are upon us in Wyoming schools. So if you are planning to travel to an area that has been impacted by COVID-19, please be respectful to the community in which you are returning. Please follow the direction of the CDC regarding quarantine recommendations. The Wyoming Department of Education is also working with their local districts to determine the best course of action for their schools. The University of Wyoming and the community colleges will be making determinations that best meet their needs and the needs of their staff and students. Several of our community colleges have made announcements adjusting their spring schedules, as has the University of Wyoming. I am also receiving concerns from our communities that there are a lack of cleaning supplies and sanitizer and toilet paper. I ask that you be respectful of others in your community when you are stocking up. Some of our most vulnerable residents are unable to get into our communities and must rely on others to bring supplies. Again, as we have done for almost half a year, we are recommending that you be 14 days ready, 2 weeks ready. Please check health.wyo.gov regularly to determine the most up-to-date information as this situation is changing very quickly. And with that, let me turn this over to Dr. Harris for some additional conversation points.
Thank you, Governor Gordon. So I'd like to give an update on our laboratory testing. We have been working hard to improve the efficiency of that testing, in particular how many tests we can run per day. We're doing that in two different ways. We changed our protocols today so that we only need to collect one sample from each patient. That improves the number of patients we can test per day. We're also working on the efficiency of the testing process so that we can also that's an additional way we can test more patients each day. And while this is a new virus and a new disease and something that is certainly causing a lot of uncertainty, I'd just like to remind everyone that this disease has familiar symptoms. It's fever, cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, and that the actions that we can do to protect ourselves from this disease are also very familiar and simple. As Governor Gordon talked about, hand washing, staying home from work and school when you're sick, covering your coughs and sneezes, and cleaning your kitchens and bathrooms on a daily basis with household cleaning supplies according to the labels.
Thanks. So let me open up for some questions on the COVID-19.